How's it going, guys? My name is Kel, and this is Torment Tides of Numenera. So before I get started, I'm going to go over this really quick because it bears mentioning. This is a game unlike any other that I've played on this channel so far because it is heavily story-driven. There isn't a whole lot of combat, and a lot of the combat can be skipped. I have played about 2.5 hours of this game so far, and I love it. I was a big fan of older CRPGs like Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale, and obviously Planescape Torment, which the developers of helped make this game, or in part made this game. Anyway, let's just go ahead and start it. It's if you don't know what it is, you don't really need to know other than the fact that it is heavily story-based. It is isometric view, and yeah, that's about it. So yeah, let's do it. Also, there's a lot of load screens, so I'm gonna cut out majority of like the really long load screens. I'm gonna leave this one in just because you know, I'm here talking over it, explaining it, but when it comes time, I will be cutting most of them out because no one wants to sit through fucking load screens. I also must mention I am playing this on the PS4 for recording purposes. My PC cannot handle this and recording at the same time, but if you had the choice, definitely pick it up on the PC. I will be a male.
In darkness. Aching cold sets into an unfamiliar body. A distant howling surrounds you, louder with each passing second. Insistent and invisible hands slap and tear at the membrane that protects you.
So there is, as you can tell, voice acting in the game. I will be doing a lot of reading because there isn't a whole lot of voice acting in the game. There's like a little bit of it, but there's going to be a lot of reading, so these episodes are going to only be like 20 to 30 minutes long each. Because my voice is going to totally get wrecked. But anyway, let's continue. This is quite interesting.
Your first emotion is an involuntary and formless panic. You feel you have forgotten something important. As if it once meant the world to you. But the details slip away as you grasp at them. You force your eyes open.
Let's look around.
A white-pink fleshy cocoon surrounds you. Even as you look, a minor rent in its side tears open, and the howling wind forces its way inside. The cocoon rips away, gone before you can grab it, spinning you into a dizzying tumble. You are falling, the world many kilometers beneath you. You catch a glimpse of a curved horizon, and also the ground beneath you that is approaching deceptively quickly. Above you, a small moon is slowly collapsing in upon itself. A corona of acid green and black energy playing around its edges. The wind buffets you and burns your eyes, but you don't need to see the details of the faraway ground to know you're in serious trouble. You won't survive a fall from this stratospheric height. A part of your frantic mind babbles that technically you probably fell from a thermospheric height. You struggle to stay focused as the ground rushes toward you.
I love that bit about the stratospheric and thermospheric. Alright, so let's see what we want to do. You can flatten out to catch the wind. That's probably the best thing we want to do right now.
Instinctively, you spread your arms and legs, and they respond sluggishly. You stop tumbling head over heels. Though you are still spinning laterally, that motion has calmed as well, and you have space to assess your situation, and perhaps to understand the predicament and the body in which you find yourself. Below you, you see a large landmass. A massive ocean dominates the rest of the visible globe, dotted here and there with island chains. Small moons, unusual structures, and strange machines rush past you in glittering profusion as you plummet toward the ground.
Let's take a look at our body.
From what you can see of your outstretched figure, you're wearing a black, body-hugging suit of some sort. Your skin is light brown, and you seem to have 5 fingers on each hand. A good set of muscles helps control your fall. Not bulky, but well-toned. But you can't examine yourself too closely without losing the little stability you've gained in the fall.
Let's look again at the world.
In the distance, you see a perfectly circular golden waste, as well as volcanic fields that must be many kilometers across. A barren valley stretches like a scar across the landscape. Beneath you, and approaching very quickly, is a wide bay, overlooked by an enormous city perched on the surrounding cliffs. The bay itself is littered with huge artifacts, ancient vessels, wrecked machines, and more. It looks like you will make impact among the latter.
That is quite unfortunate. Let's try to remember how all this happened.
Close your eyes and remember walking through a hall of breathing greenery. a feeling of fear and exhilaration. And you are jolted from your recollection. An enormous pain crashes through your body, the sound of an energy cycle suddenly thrown out of tune and spiraling rapidly upward, and then darkness.
Alright, so we've made our landing. So here's our character. And this is the basic gameplay of the game. You might notice that the frame rate isn't super great. Hopefully that'll be patched soon, but we can interact with things in the world. Since this is on a PS4, there is no mouse, but I could, like, I can't really display it right now, so let's just interact. Jumbled thoughts cloud your head as you study the empty bowl before you. Drops of liquid fall from the ceiling, splattering on the ground next to the bowl. The light from every drop is reflected in the bowl's rounded hollow. As if it hungers for that light, it needs to be filled, yet the bowl remains dry. Another drop falls from the ceiling and splashes across the pylons, wasted. Alright, so we can do some stuff. We can use might to move the bowl, examine the bowl, or leave the bowl alone. And you can see to the left of all these words and stuff, you see these these 3 numbers that are all 5s. The red one is might, the yellow one is speed, I think, and the purple one is intellect. And there is our character right there. We cannot change the way we look unless you choose a female. And then they just look, a different preset. Anyway, let's examine the bowl. You trace your fingers over the slippery, overlapping scales that spiral up from the bottom of the bowl. The sharp-toothed rim plucks at your skin. It's going to be tricky to move the bowl without slicing your fingers on its edge. You might have to put some effort into it. Reflecting light streaks across the surface of the bowl as another droplet falls from the ceiling. Alright, let's move it. You've encountered your first task. You have 3 stat pools, might, speed, and intellect. You can use them to blah blah blue. Yeah, basically, you can expend points in your respective skills to, make it easier to move or whatever. I mean, might as well just use all 3. Yeah, might as well to make it 100%. Huzzah! Success. You carefully take hold of the bowl, avoiding the teeth on the serrated rim. With a deep breath, you move it over the glowing pool of fallen light. Yeah, we do. Without moving ourselves. Drop by drop, the bowl fills, ripples spreading over the blurred outline of your reflection. A pale blue luminescence stretches into the corners of the room. A clear radiance spills across the segmented floor, washing away the nearest shadows and pouring into your mind, melting the ragged edges of your fragmented thoughts. You are not whole, not yet, but you have begun to heal from the damage done in your long fall. A voice calls out from somewhere high above, beyond the reaches of the spreading light. Hello? Are you still alive down there? We're up here. Build a path. Whatever. It was too quick. I apologize. I think it's like build a path upwards to us or something to that effect. Anyway, so now I can actually like move around and stuff. Here you can see I can press the left or the right stick in and it'll show all the things I can interact with. This is super, super useful since we're on, the PS4. Let's check this out. Metal waves roll over the floor below, sending vibrations through the soles of your boots. Yep, indeed. Let's keep going. Let's interact with this. As soon as you touch the orb, a memory floods your mind. I apologize for the stumbles. I will get better with that as I continue on. You stand in front of a rusted door. The air is humid and dank. Dank. You've had a moment's respite from this waterlogged hell. A bubble of stale air in your resting point. You've breathed water before, and you've lived decades beneath the waves, but this body's an air breather and the constant pressure that's been crushing you ever so subtly. Worse, your companion's mind seems to be wandering from the task at hand. He's a genius with machines, as you well know, but now he seems distracted. The device in his hands is covered in knobs, wires, and antennas. He believes it can get the two of you through the corroded door, but he's merely staring at it. Perhaps he's lost faith in his invention, but that is hardly your concern. This mission cannot be delayed. It must proceed. Alright, so we can choose, how to proceed. We can deceive him by telling him that you've heard some sounds of pursuit. We can threaten him until he returns to the task at hand. And this is taking too long. Cast a spell, an esotery, to fix the device yourself. So, I'm going to basically play these the way I would, like, personally. And I'm not going to try to make a character. I'm just going to play this the way I would and do what I would personally do. I'm definitely not going to threaten him. I could deceive him. All I can say is taking... Well, I mean, in all honesty, if it was me, I'd be like, just move aside, I'll do it myself. So, yeah. You mumble a few words, drawing power from the air around you until a solution appears in your mind. You snatch the device from his hands, rewire it, and shove it back at him. Oh, he says, examining your work. Sorry, I was trying to improve the thing. He waves the device at the door, and the stale air of your bubble freshens as the door swings open. A dark hallway lies beyond, a passage that links the water-bordered cells and the aquatic viewing areas. What you seek lies there. Moments later, you are underwater again, your hands closing around a strange yet familiar artifact. You need it to complete something. It hovers above the pedestal, rotating in the dark water. An electric current runs through your fingertips as your hand crosses the vertical plane of the pedestal, and an iridescent field coalesces so fast that the wave of the pressure dazes you for a moment. The rising pulse of a sonar alarm ripples through the water. The guards won't be far behind. Run, you can come back for it. They won't be able to protect it forever. No. Disable the sonar pulse. Use a device to stop them, one of the ciphers in your belt. I mean, they're already on their way, so I'd probably just use a device to stop the guards. You run urgent fingers over the device fastened to your waist, a fog rising in your mind. A few can be used against the guards, but will also turn your skin to synth steel or the surrounding water into boiling wax. Hardly ideal. Finally, you find a small silver sphere. Setting the sphere in place, you kick desperately for the safety of a nearby alcove. The sphere whirls and unfolds into a spiraling vortex. The sphere at its center speaks a few polite words in an ancient language, then begins draining the surrounding water into itself with alarming speed. The approaching guards shout, then scream as they too are sucked into the whirlpool and ripped into pieces. Damn. You allow yourself a fleeting smile, but are all too aware that more alarms are going off in the distance. The memory begins to fade, as if you are being drawn backward through a tunnel, and you hear more pylons rising from the pit. Something is wrong. The events within the orb have settled into that gap in your mind, but the edges of it are rough. And though the memory itself is not truly yours, or as though the memory itself is not truly yours, there's something else, a gust of sour air pulling at you, like a predator inhaling the scent of its prey at the far end of a dark, whispering field. Like I said, there's going to be a lot of reading. Most of this game is reading and story and narrative. But it's something that I enjoy every now and then, maybe every year or two, to play a game like this. Mostly I just play action games, but I really like these story-focused things every now and then. The mirror looks strange, as though what you see in it is real and you are the reflection. Whoop, that was a little jumpy. Let's examine this. The light around the door's frame dims and flares like a roaring fire in a high wind. Let's check out the big one. No sign or symbol tells you what might be behind this enormous door. A dull chill radiates from its bronzed, segmented surface, and the thick metal wheel seems frozen into place. Alright, let's push this button. Okay, let's do this. You stand beside a woman on a verdant crag. Beneath the two of you is a broad plateau towering above the overgrowth far below. Strange machines have been built into the cliffside, presumably for reconnaissance or defense. A metallic disc gleams from the center of the plateau. Your self-aware humanoid machines drill into the base of the cliffs below. If you were looking for a sanctuary, and you were, desperately, this seems like the right place. I don't know about this, the woman says, her voice flat, neutral. Her face is turned away from you. What makes this place any more secure than the other ones we found? So, we can do another thing. So, let's see. We can draw our attention to the hidden details that my more experienced eye can clearly see. We can use our charm to persuade her of the merits of the site and remind her of the time constraints. Convince her with the wisdom of my superior intellect. I mean, these are all kind of the same thing. So basically we can be like, I can spot things you can't see. I can use charm. But I'm going to go with the wisdom of my superior intellect, I guess. A slight chill enters the air as you describe the potential power of the metallic disc below and the sealed vaults beneath it. She nods. So that's what your servitor machines are down there, or doing down there. You've already chosen this as the site, haven't you? She waits for your affirmation and says, "Alright, I'm convinced." The two of you sketch your plans for the sanctuary, drawing schematics of the architectural diagrams. Then you descend onto the plateau to examine the open ground. The woman suggests having one of the servitors build a shelter for your time there. You try to draw one of the constructs away from its task, but it doesn't respond to your voice. When you lay a hand on its shoulder to reinforce your command, it whirls and strikes you across the face with inhuman speed. It turns back to its task, ignoring you. Your companion helps you rise, laughter in her eyes. It seems your construct has other ideas. What's the matter with it? Alright, so I can use the Numenera integrated into the construct's body to overwhelm the behavior malfunction. I can examine the construct for mechanical faults. Look for a deeper solution. Perhaps it's an effect of the metallic disc itself. Let's do this one. I keep doing the third one, but we're gonna do the third one. Alright. A mist falls onto the plateau as you wrap a fiber shielding mesh around the construct's skull. The mesh powers up, protecting the construct's mind from any transdimensional emissions that might be in the area. Taking a deep breath, you repeat your command. Acknowledged. It obediently trundles to the side of your new shelter. Or to the site of your new shelter. The image freezes, then fades as you feel the memory filling the gap in your mind, blocked by jagged block. You stagger, clutching your head, reclaiming your memories hurts. And once more, there's something else. Hairs lift one by one on the back of your neck. Something beyond this room can sense what you are doing and is hunting you. That's not ominous at all. Let's just go ahead and walk across this. I really need to get like a drink or something to prepare for all this reading. A vision of a city springs up around you. Your city, in flames and under attack. Her defenders have fought and died all day, and still the attackers keep coming. They fight as if your destruction were demanded of them. They care nothing for mercy, surrender, or plunder. What they want is blood. But you have brought a keen-eyed companion to the top of the tower. She has seen the way to stop the invaders. You need to get her to safety, and you need to rally your defenders. But even as you turn towards the door of the tower, two of the attackers descend from a hovering machine. You don't have time to strike at them before they land. One is brutishly large, his weapon a vibrating axe. That's weird. The other is slim, sheathed in glassy armor and holding a hilt with a sizzling, invisible blade. Your companion backs away. She is too young to help. Your enemies advance, single file, confined by the parapet. Alright, so I can trade blows with the giant. I can handle it for at least a strike or two. That sounds like an awful idea. We can duck behind the giant, swing, and attack before it can strike. Sounds better. Fight defensively and figure out who presents the greater threat. Once again, we're going to choose the third one. The memory seems crystal clear. The giant is menacing, it's true, but the invisible blade of the companion is far more worrisome still. The energy field that flickers and wavers around it suggests that she can carve matter at the molecular level, tearing pieces of her target into nothingness. If you're to save yourself, your best bet is to tackle her first. She's stuck behind the giant, waiting her turn to attack you, unable to bring her weapon to bear until he's out of the way. But it's clear that she expects him to handle you, and her eyes rove behind you, her focus on your ward. She's clearly not expecting you to dive between the giant's legs and come up inside her guard. She can't bring her blade to bear in time, and you drive your dagger up into her chin. Or up under her chin. Damn, that's brutal. You catch her before her deadly... Wait, let's stop. You catch her before her deadly blade drops onto you and spin her around. The weapon slashes into the giant and he topples, bisected. Get an old Walmo combo. The immediate threat ended, you focus on finding a way back to your allies. You open the tower door and rush down the stairs. The door at the base of the stairs is slightly cracked. opening just a bit into the hall, and you hear more of the enemy soldiers beyond. So we can hurl ourselves against the door and knock them to the ground, crack the door open to sneak past them, charge through them, counting your defenses to protect you. So that is reckless, and that is reckless. So we're going to open it and sneak past them. You press yourself against the gleaming door, easing it open, and your breath catches in your throat as it squeaks quietly. The sound like a bell in your memory. You pause, but the soldiers in the hall continue to talk. You push again, squeeze yourself through the narrow opening, and creep down the blood-stained hall. The memory begins to fade, and you find yourself back in your own body. Your temples throb with the racing force of your heartbeat, and the reclaimed memories blaze within you, like a bonfire on a mountain peak, visible to every predator for kilometers around. A tremor rocks the floor beneath you, as though a massive fist has struck the room itself. Swaying on your feet, you see frantic movement in the borders of the mirror at the edge of the room. Alright, so I noticed that I misspoke some of the words as I was reading. I hope you don't worry about it. I'm not gonna go back and re-say every single sentence if I misspeak a word, like with instead of with or within, something like that. Anyway, let's interact with this. The border of this mirror is lavishly decorated with a dizzying number of interlocking symbols, daggers, masks, paintbrushes, amulets, and more. But that's nothing compared to what you see in the glass. You see a vast crowd of people, exact doppelgangers of you, shoving, arguing with, and fighting each other. Most are drab imitations of you, but a precious few are vivid and pull at your attention. Each of them bears an intricate pentagonal tattoo on their head. In their eyes, their actions, you see the memories you discovered within the orbs, and the choices you made, shining like distant stars. Your hand twitches at your side, and though some of the bright doppelgangers ignore you, an even smaller number immediately turn to you, waiting for you to choose them and learn what you might become. A rumble shakes the room, and a slow vibration spreads from the darkness below, rippling towards the ceiling. Alright, so we can basically pick our class here based on the choices we made earlier. So we can point at the doppelganger with the clever eyes, point at the intelligent doppelganger with the furrowed brow, point at the doppelganger with the mystical symbol on its brow, or step away. I guess we'll point at the intelligent doppelganger with the furrowed brow. The doppelganger holds itself erect among the pressing crowd. It meets your eyes with confident gaze, triggering familiar memories in the back of your mind. When you return from your contemplation, the doppelganger is waiting for your decision with a knowing smile. Yeah. The remaining doppelgangers scattered for the edge of the mirror and vanish. Your chosen identity steps forward. Its appearance changes as it steps out of the rippling glass. Its face exudes intelligence and confidence. Shadows of several devices shimmer all around it. Technology of several kinds from a myriad of past ages. You get the feeling you, would be comfortable with all of it. The word nano sounds in your mind. Gain descriptor, intelligent. So basically there are three classes in the game. There is the... I forgot what the fighter's called. But there's like a fighter class. There's one called Jack, which is like a rogue. It's called Jack of all trades. And then there's Nano, which is kind of like your spellcastery type guy. Your doppelganger continues walking, stepping into you, filling you, making you whole. Your decision rings out in the cavernous room, awakening and unlocking vast mechanisms behind the walls. Suddenly, a grotesque noise rings through your shared worlds, like a bell if bells could rot. Something is coming. Oh, well, that's not good. The mirror fades, leaving a dark, open doorway. You take a deep breath and step through. Cool, so here we are now in character creation. So we can change things as we want to see. I'm not sure what class I want to be. Oh, Glaive. Those are the melee classes. Then there's Jack, and then of course Nano. Mages, wizards, and sorcerers are witches by the people in the Ninth World. Jacks are intrepid explorers and adventurers. Jack of all trades, hence the name. And they have like different abilities down below. As you can see, that this has a flex skill. It says choose one exploration, lore, or conversational skill, +1 training in that level while activated. And then you can like basically flex it. You can change it depending on what you need, which is kind of cool. And the nano gets these +1 training in concentration skill, cipher limit increases, and they get the onslaught, which is basically like a ranged attack, I suppose. We're gonna be a nano. Stick with what we were. And I don't think I gotta pick these. I just get them. All right, so these are the pools that I can increase some of these. Our intelligence is already pretty high, so I'm gonna bump one into speed and put one more into intellect. So we'll have 6 speed, 10 intellect. I mean, yeah, that seems good. Let's move on. And then we can go through these, and so we can pick 2 of these abilities. So we got Scan Thoughts. The surface thoughts of most people or creatures you speak will appear in conversations. That seems really sweet. Resourceful. Gain +1 training in cipher skill use. Nah. Adaptation. Gain protected +2 armor, +1 resistance armor bonus. I mean, that seems pretty good, but I'm going to try to avoid combat as much as I can. I'm going to play it smart, you know, like I said, play it like I would in real life. Remove all negative fettles. I guess that's negative effects. And Quantum Step, that sounds awesome. Teleport one ally to a point within range. That seems sweet. So I'm definitely picking Scan Thoughts. Adaptation seems really good. Gives me more armor and such. Or is this a spell? Oh, it's a spell. It's not a passive. I'm going to take Quantum Step. So I'm taking Scan Thoughts and Quantum Step. Alright, we can pick some skills. Most skills increase your chance on success of specific kinds of actions and tasks, but some give other passive bonuses. Each skill starts at blank blank novice and can be increased to trained and specialized, granting greater bonuses at each level. Descriptors often leave skills at the whatever level, meaning they inflict penalties. When upgraded, these return to novice level. Alright, so basically, we don't have a whole lot of skills to pick from. If we were the Jack, we'd have a crap load. We automatically start with this one. This is actually pretty cool. So we're the last cast off, right? That's our name. The implications of that will be apparent somewhat soon. But basically, this gives us the ability to remember certain things about ourselves, or certain things that we can remember. So that was actually really cool. So we can do Lore Machinery, 15% bonus per level, difficult task marked with the skill Lore, Natural, Academic Knowledge of the Natural Sciences and Physical Creatures, Academic Knowledge of Machines, Mechanics, and the Physical Sciences. We're going to do Mystical, because that sounds cool. Academic Knowledge of Sciences that are not exactly physical nor natural, including strange or trans-dimensional creatures. Yeah, that sounds awesome. So we're doing that. We can only pick one of them. So we're doing Mystical Lore. Unfortunately, we can't do any weapons, because, you know, we're a mage. We don't really do the whole weapon thing. Can't do weapon school because we are not a glaive. Alright, and so now we could pick our descriptor. Our descriptor right now is intelligence, so we are an intelligent nano. But we can pick something else as well. One that I really like is stealthy, because it gives you a ton of skills. So if you're stealthy, you gain +1 training in light weapons, as well as +1 in stealth and +1 in deception, but you get -1 in initiative and -1 in running. So it makes you slower, and it makes you basically slower in general. But you got some weapons, and you can also sneaky. What's mystical? You have the gift of the Numenera, especially the stranger powers of the ancients. You're not as good with people though. So we got like minuses on intimidation, but we got more cipher use and more mystical. I mean, that seems pretty good. What was intelligent again? Oh, it just gave us +2 to our... Ooh, learned. Okay. You're studious and know a great deal of information about many things. So that's what? +1 intellect, +1 natural lore, but -1 persuasion and -1 in deception. I like deception, actually. So let's see. I don't want to be minus in deception. I'm thinking. I'm thinking either intelligent or mystical. I mean, I really don't care about intimidation. I'm not entirely sure what concentration does. What's concentration do? Mitigates penalties for equipped bonded artifacts. Interesting. And intimidation's just like your ability to intimidate people. I think I'd rather use like, I don't know, not intimidation. We're gonna be mystical, I think. Though intelligence is quite good too. Fuck it. We're gonna be intelligent. Yep, let's do it. Yep, I'm sure. Hello, Ghosty Man. The Spectre. Everything about this spectral figure seems dreamlike. He is a hazy silhouette who seems to be made of blue glass smoke. He wears stylish, well-cut clothes. His handsome, bearded face seems hauntingly familiar, though you've never seen him before. He breathes a sigh of relief when he sees you. We weren't sure that would work. We pooled our strength and channeled it through me to reach you, to wake you up. He glances at the other figures and frowns unhappily. It took more out of them than we thought. The other reflections. They're more like shadows now. Look, I'll bet you've got a lot of questions. This whole place is basically your mind. Your body's still out there in the real world, healing from that fall. You'll need to get out there and finish the process. He shrugs. It shouldn't be too hard. Alright, so we got a lot of stuff to go through here. I'm not gonna click literally everything, but we're gonna do this. Before I met you, I felt like something was hunting me. Do you know what that was? He closes his eyes. That's a memory I don't want to recall. Large, black, furious. It's our death. It's the sorrow. He closes his eyes. I hope it's lost interest in you. If it finds us, we're done for. Alright, finish the process? What do you mean by that? After you wake up from this dream state and attune to the tides, you'll need to find something called a resonance chamber. Your body should have landed somewhere near it. Just climb inside that and everything will be fine. What do you mean attuned to the tides? Tides are like a force, like gravity or magnetism or something, except they respond to people's actions and perceptions. Your body, that is, your body in the real world, needs the tides to survive. It's not something you need to worry about. Your body will attune as it wakes up. Okay, well, what's a resonance chamber? I remember pieces about it, but not the whole. It's a crystal sarcophagus. I remember it having 5 mechanical arms around it and a metal ring set in the floor. I think we were aiming for it when we fell. When you open your eyes in the real world, it should be nearby. Okay. We're gonna... If this place is my mind, why don't I remember any of this? Any of you? It's your mind. A construct built to, I don't know, share thoughts? Store your true self? Wait, you know how people say, in the first place? This is definitely the first place of your memory. Well, it was the first place for me anyway. You'd probably know better, since it's yours. If you don't remember now, maybe it'll come to you later. Okay. Who are the other ones? That's what they are. As I said, it's your mind. You'll find reflections of people you knew, people you met in the real world, and with whom you shared some kind of psychic connection. I don't know how or why, it just happens. Alright, well, so he's just me. Okay, well, how do I get back to the real world? There's a portal down... Let's do that one more time. There's a portal down there. It'll take you back to your body. Your body, just step through it, and the whole tides thing should take care of itself. He crosses his arms. When you wake up, find the resonance chamber and activate it. Then we can... What the hell is that? Damn! Gods, it's the sorrow! Alright, here we go. The Spectre. The sorrow is anchored to one of those... or the sorrow is anchored to those reflections. It's devouring their power. I'm not gonna actually yell this out. We have to get rid of them. Destroy its anchors, or else the sorrow will erase us forever. Crisis initiated. So the combats in the game are called crises, and you can skip them or talk your way out of them, stuff like that. But let's see how we do. It's basically it's telling, you can fight, sneak, manipulate the environment, or talk your way out of trouble. Each turn you can take one attack action or do a move. That reflection near you, kill it. You'll loosen the sorrow's anchor. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do. Yep. Gonna move it over and get him. I don't think we need to do a whole lot of damage. We'll just do that. Yeah, get wrecked. Sorrow's turn. What in the... It's escaping. He's going to hide inside your mind. Well, that sucks. Run, get to the next one. Alright. You can sacrifice your attack action for a double move instead of attacking. The movement preview line turns purple when... Okay. So let's just do a... Where's the movement preview? I just do this. Cool. We'll just move right there. Oh, more sorrow fragments. Just flying into our mind. Well, that sucks, I'm sure. When you apply effort to attack, it increases the damage you deal. Different weapons and blah blah blah. Okay. Yep, we'll just do that, I guess. You've already used your attack action for this turn, and you will need to wait for the next turn to do another. Yep, you can still move somewhere. Yep, let's move right here. And then we're end our turn. It's got a sorrow infection. What is it doing now? It's infecting it somehow. Fettles are temporary conditions or status effects that can improve or reduce your character's stats. Sorrow just placed a fettle on the remaining reflection. You can't remove this fettle, but you may find a way to overcome it. Yeah, I'm just gonna punch it really hard. Can I cast any of my spells? I don't think I can. Ooh, maybe I can. It's probably not worth using. Let's do trans-dimensional damage to that. Let's just regular damage. Yeah, get wrecked. Yeah, we got 40 XP. Get the fuck out of here. You pried it loose. That thing is a cancer, an infection. It's unstoppable, but you stopped it. He holds his head in his hands. I can't believe it found us in here. He looks at you, terror in his eyes. That thing, the sorrow, it's been hunting you. It's what killed you in the first place. It'll keep hunting you down until you activate the resonance chamber. I didn't remember until we saw it, but that's why the chamber is so important. We have to get back and activate the chamber before it's too late. The portal to your body is that shimmering dome over there. Go! Now! Yep, I will, bro. But first, let me look at some stuff. Hey, look, here's some loot. We got a shimmering glass. It's a cipher. I will take it. I don't really want to talk to the Spectre some more, but I do want to examine this. The swirling depths flicker with mysteries and powers you cannot define. I mean, it looks pretty cool. Alright, so I think this is going to be our stopping point for this episode. The next episode we'll have a lot more talking, and we will see our first 2 party members. If you guys like the video, then maybe leave a like, maybe even subscribe. Every little bit helps, and I appreciate it oh so very much. Also, let me know if you like the series. If this is not super popular and a lot of people don't want to watch it, then I probably won't continue with it. I will keep playing, in my free time, of course, because this game is awesome. But it does require a ton of reading. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you next time. Have a good one all, and I will see you later.